today, and also it's really good to see the turnout today, because obviously there is the Gaza March today, and quite rightly a lot of people want to attend that and are attending that, who no doubt would have attended this. I think it's important that we have these sort of meetings, because the more we talk together and work together, then obviously the more we can actually make a real movement. Now, in answer to the question, have the trade unions made progress on this issue, I think the answer is yes. I measure that in the sense of that there's no trade union that openly says that climate change is not real. I think every union probably has policy on climate change. No doubt this year's round of conferences, there'll probably be more policies. But when I see the movement as a whole, and I'm not talking about individual unions here, I'm talking about the whole trade union movement, I don't think we've made the fundamental breakthrough from this being an important issue where everybody says, yes, it's really important, to it being actually a crucial trade union issue, where it's actually at the core of what we do in everyday trade union work. Certainly in the union that I'm in, PCS, which mainly organises in the UK civil service, we have not made that breakthrough. And certainly what we've not made the breakthrough is to have mass enthusiasm and mass campaigning on the ground around this issue. That's not because we don't want that, but it's because we just haven't made, if you like, enough connections, haven't done enough work, etc. And I have a feeling that, if you like, our failings actually stand for many unions. Not every union, but many unions. So I think we have to have an honest, if you like, balance sheet of where we are. And certainly, I'm being honest about PCS. As I said, we want to move to that mass campaigning. And this year, for the first time, we're starting to talk seriously about green bargaining, where we will put forward green demands as part of our trade union activity. In that, we're trying to learn what that actually means. There's no booklet out there that says you have to do ABC. There's lots of, if you like, web stories floating around about green bargaining. But actually, when you dig deeper, very few places have actually done it. So one of the things we are trying to work out is, what does it mean? Now, it has to be more than just let's recycle more, or let's have less water usage on our estates. It has to mean something fundamental about how our places actually operate in a fundamental sense, not only as, if you like, the internal business, but also how they externally talk to and work with their procurement chains, the public, and also the services they provide. So as I said, this year for the first time we're trying to seriously address that. And certainly one of the useful things about these conferences is that hopefully people can come up to me afterwards and say, look, this is the way you might like to do it. Because certainly we would be very interested in a follow-up meeting or other meetings about green bargaining. What does it mean? What sort of demands can you put? What sort of demands should you put? Now you can say them in broad terms, just transition, etc., but you still have to drill down into concrete demands. You can go to an employer and just say, we want, in some very broad terms, but in the end of the day, that has to be translated into actually concrete demands. Now, I think the way we would measure actually, and I'll start to come to an end on this, we would measure progress would be, to be blunt, if our union actually balloted members over industrial action around a green issue. In one sense, I think that's the litmus test of all unions about this issue. Now, clearly, if you're winning, you don't have to do that. But that is the fundamental mental change I think we certainly need in our union, is to take it from a very, not abstract idea, but somehow like a worthy idea, and actually say we have to do this, and if the employer won't agree with it, then we have to actually talk to our members, and hopefully we're talking to our members all the time about this, to translate that into strike action. And that's also where the anti-trade union laws in this country come into mind as well, because they stop it. They stop the straightforward so-called political strike. Though I think it's more nuanced about what you can go on strike or not. But nevertheless, this is a straightforward trade dispute, it seems to me. So I do think, like I said, just to come to the question, have we made progress? Yes. I don't see any union in a Trumpian moment actually denouncing climate change and saying it's really the fault of the Chinese and it's a sort of like one of their gimmicks or whatever. But I don't think, certainly when taking the movement as a whole, we've made that fundamental breakthrough where we actually genuinely see climate change as a trade union issue, as a normal trade union issue that's normally talked about, rather, and I'll finish definitely on this, that is almost like delegated to a subcommittee. It's a bit like health and safety. Everybody loves health and safety, everybody thinks it's really important, but when the health and safety rep starts a thing, most people's eyes glaze over and say, no, that's the health and safety committee. We don't want that. It should be a mainstream issue. It should be an issue that we raise every year and for concrete demands. But as I said, certainly my union would like help about what does that mean? How can we do it? And so if you've got ideas, I'll be more than happy to talk to you after this session or whenever we get a chance. And on that basis, thanks very much.